Welcome to another edition of Joe's Politics 101. Today is February 3rd, 2014, and I want to get back to talking about politics. I've pretty much laid off of the round man scandal. Round man is my nickname for Governor Christy of New Jersey. You know, even though I would not never ever vote for Christy, or for that matter, in this present day and time, would I vote for any Republican politician. And that's because I don't agree with their ideology, their political policy ideas of, no regulations, no environmental protection, and no desire or willingness to assist taxpayers when they're in need, such as unemployment benefits, people who aren't capable of or don't have the ability to take care of themselves sometime when things are bad. This ideology they have that every man should be for himself, whether you are able to or not. The idea that a person may not have enough education or the ability to function in a society where it takes education and knowledge to survive. Until I was about 26 years old, or somewhere in that frame in my 20s, I never really gave a damn about politics. What brought my interest into politics was the Watergate scandal with Richard Nixon, and I watched that thing all the way through. I watched how President Nixon tried to maneuver his way through it by lying and being deceitful and trying to deflect the things that he was being accused of doing, and the way he would try to verbalize them into the fact that he wasn't involved, that he just didn't have any knowledge about it, didn't know what was going on. And after that, I began to form an opinion about Republican politicians. In my opinion, they will say and do anything to gain a position in a political office. They will lie to you. They will not tell you the truth. And I'm not saying that Democrats don't do the same thing. I'm just saying that it's more obvious, more open in the Republican Party with the people that's in the Republican Party. They'll say and do anything to try to get that little bit of power. You look back over the Republican Party and how things have happened. It's always been some scandals involved in most of the Republican administration. They tout Ronald Reagan as being one of the greatest presidents there ever was. Ronald Reagan had some good qualities. Richard Nixon had some good qualities. But both of them did things that weren't right, and that was pretty much ignored or swept under the rug, because that's how Republican politicians operate. They get caught up in something. They want to sweep it under the rug or try to lie their way out of it so that they don't get hurt for their future. Well, Richard Nixon wasn't that lucky. Ronald Reagan was. I think maybe the cleanest, and maybe not even that, because he was involved in that Enron deal, was George H. Bush. But it didn't really affect his 4-year presidency. His son, on the other hand, George W. had all kind of scandalous things going on, which he never paid a price for. One of them being the war in Iraq, the biggest one being the war in Iraq. We know what happened with Clinton, and we understand that. That's what happened. That's the way it is. He's a baby boomer, and whatever happened, which was, the thing that the Republicans dealt with him with for 8 years. It never went away, and it still hasn't went away in some people's mind, But you can't change history. You can't change history. So now we have a real scandal. They've accused President Obama of doing this and doing that, and he's the Benghazi thing. That's the only thing that they ever tried to, in the IRS and the Benghazi, and they just try to trump up scandals to throw out, to obstruct, and to deflect and pull things away from the real issues that should be being dealt with in the United States of America, such as our trade deficits, jobs, getting businesses and manufacturers back into the United States. They deflect all of that, and they try to take away everything from the taxpayers, people that's paying taxes, and then use tax money to do those things with. They're using the taxpayers' dollars to obstruct the office of the president, the Obama administration. It's tax dollars that's being paid to these individuals who are doing this obstructing. Well, now in New Jersey, we have a Republican who was, looked at to be the next great Republican presidential campaign, who they felt they could put up against a Democrat, some Democrat, whoever it may be. It may be Hillary Clinton, maybe Joe Biden, or it may be one of hundreds of other Democratic people that might run for the office. We have a real scandal in Mr. Christy's issues here. And I watched his 2-hour long press conference that he had that day. And based on a lot of the training that I've had in my life while I was in the military and when I was a police officer, prior to my retiring and all of that stuff, just watching Chris Christy and his body language. I'm big on body language. There are a few things that, if you don't know, you might be able to learn something about an individual's behavior in his body language. And watching Chris Christy during that 2 hours, and I didn't watch it totally through, but I did sit down and just kind of study him and how he was responding to questions, how he was answering questions. There's always been this theory about when a person is talking to you and you ask him a question, or you ask him or her or that person a question, that you look at them, you focus in on their eyes and their facial behaviors. And it's always been this thing that if you can see the three whites of a person's eyes, when he's looking directly at you, if you can see the three whites of their eyes, 9 times out of 10, they're lying. The eyebrow thing going up, eyes rolling back into your head when you ask the question or when you're trying to come up with an answer, often indicates that there might not be some truth there. The hand gestures, how you rest your hand on something and the way you move your wrist, tells you a little bit of something about everything that a person is trying to either hide or tell the truth. Normally when people are telling the truth, they're passionate about it. And that passion comes out through their facial expressions. I've seen a lot of facial expressions on Chris Christy during that 2-hour interview, and a few other conversations that I've seen him having, like today, he was on radio, and just looking at him, it just reeks of I'm lying, I'm lying, I'm lying, I'm going to lie my way out of this. You know, and when you're talking about people who, you know, run around the country talking about, you know, how honest they are and how much they are for the people that they're in charge of or the people that they're representing, and you see their actions, it's hard to understand that they don't really care. They don't really care about anything outside of their own personal, you know, few feet. Their few feet is what's important to them. Their future is what's important to them. You know, ambitious people who are honest usually catch hell. Ambitious people who thrive on dishonesty and force and push issues that are often not good for the things that America wants or the society is in need of, are the ones who usually win. You know, the guy with the black hat, the bad guy, he's usually winning, but he's faking it because he wants to say he's got a white hat on. You know, that's how we do our thing in America sometimes. The bad guys always got the black hat on and the good guys got the white hat on. Yeah, whatever. But you know, way before all of this came about, you know, the round man, in my opinion, was rude, unconcerning, you know, and you could tell by the way he responded to people and talked to people in a degrading manner, in a disrespectful manner, calling people names like idiot and telling them don't worry about where my kids go to school. You know, I think that was a valid question. The lady asked him about, you know, where does he send his kids to school at? The reason I believe it was a valid question is because he was closing down public schools, privatizing the New Jersey school system. And, you know, she wanted to know, you know, your kids go to a private school. Maybe she couldn't afford to send her children to a private school. You know, that might have been the intent of her question. And he just kind of tried to, you know, just disrespect her in a way. The young man that I guess he was in law school or whatever, asked him a question, and he talked about staying on topic, you idiot, you know, that kind of stuff. That's really disrespectful. A lot of people like that kind of crap. You know, I like straightforward people, and the majority of us are comfortable with people who are straightforward, as long as they keep it within some form of respect. You know, if you call me an idiot, I'm going to probably call you an idiot back. But, you know, by him having all of the state police security and this, that, and another, I guess he feel like, you know, hell, I talk to people any kind of way I want to talk to them. You know, because they can't do me anything. You know, just looking at him, you know, if you get him into a little battle, minute into it, he's probably out of it. So what's the deal? You know, he's got protection. So you can say and do things that you want to do to people. You know, behavior. You know, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it because I believe it's the truth. Christy, Rand Paul, Mike Huckabee, Paul Ryan, none of these guys will ever be president of the United States because they have flaws. They have the kind of flaws that once they're vetted, that's going to show them up as liars, scandals, or scoundrels, and people who just don't have the grit to cut being the president of the United States. You can't be an idiot and be the United States president. You can't be the president of the United States if you're an idiot. And the majority of them are an idiot. Now, having said that, and as I close out, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty is weebling and wobbling. We'll just wait to see if he falls. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for viewing my YouTube video. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you.